Hello, guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Skills and Abilities. Today, we're going to be going over another one of the skills from the trap tree, and this one is Shockweb. So, Shockweb is one of those odd skills that actually has the... Well, for the long time, it's had kind of like a stigma attached to it. And the reason why it's had a stigma attached to it is because it literally has some major issues in next hit delay. These next delay hit issues have actually been fixed, though. So, Shockweb, believe it or not, actually works just fine now. It's it's actually something that that definitely has changed over the years. So, for instance, with Shockweb, basically how it works is you toss these little projectiles on the ground, and they dish out damage. Well, before they changed the next hit delay problems, Shockweb would only dish out its damage once every 26 frames, which is basically once a second. So once per second, which is not even really all that amazing. And it just never really did a whole lot of damage, pretty much ever. The change made it so that Shockweb actually can do a lot more damage now than it has done before in the past. And also it doesn't interfere with other abilities in terms of next hit delay. It also is affected by negative resistance, and can actually dish out some pretty significant damage now in terms of lightning output. As you can clearly see here, it actually hits multiple times now, which is rather interesting. It's a very nice field of lightning projectiles, which means it sits there and it shocks them repeatedly. If you have full synergies for the ability, which involves full points into Charge Bolt Sentry, full points into Lightning Sentry, and of course you also, if you want to max it out, you need 20 points into Shockweb itself. And then the actual spikes per shot, so +1 spike per 3 levels from Fire Blast, so you get more spikes if you put more points into it, which means you can get more damage out of it, so it's rather interesting. This is a pretty powerful ability now in terms of damage output, and it's something that you can do while you are utilizing your other abilities. So for instance, if you are a lightning sentry assassin, and you throw out all your lightning sentries, after you throw out your lightning sentries, you can throw out a couple shockwebs too, and you can dish out more damage that way. It's just an additional way that you can apply more damage to the field of battle. The damage output that it's capable of, as you can see right now, level 39, is 3,588. It has 21 spikes. It has a casting delay of 0.6, so you can't spam it as fast as you would other abilities. It is, however, affected by increased attack speed, and despite the delay, you will be able to get a little bit faster cast rate out of it by going with some increased attack speed equipment. And I can show this to you. So, for instance, right now, if I were to take off my weapons, you'll notice that it's a lot slower. It still has a delay, but it has even more of a delay now that I have my weapons off. However, if I put my weapons back on, and then maybe I grab, for instance, a burst of speed, which is a very easy way to increase your attack speed overall, you'll notice that it does get faster. The reason for this is that the delay is actually added to the attack speed of your ability. So whatever your attack speed is actually just tacked on top. The delay is actually just tacked on top of it. So if your attack speed is really slow, then you're having the delay added on to a really slow speed in the first place. But if your attack speed is really fast, then you also get really fast attack rate on this ability as well, despite the fact that it has a little bit of a delay. And having really fast cast rate on this ability does mean that you're going to be able to spam even more spikes in their face. Of course, when you get into a big group of monsters, like you could just throw them all on the ground in front of you like this and use them defensively. And as you can see, I managed to kill 2 of them before they even got to me. You can also use them offensively, which is basically where, you can just throw them like at the edges of the screen and stuff. Like, so we have a guy over here, so let's just go ahead and throw a bunch of them way over there. And as you can see, we managed to hit him a couple times. So let me throw a couple more. Let's just go ahead and stack him up. There he is. So now we got him locked. And we got a zombie over there. So we're going to rain some lightning down on the zombie. And as you can see, when they run through it, they do seem to get hit more by it as well. And generally, Shockweb has definitely seen some pretty amazing increases in terms of its damage output in recent patches. can be something very fun to play with. Overall, though, it is definitely a secondary ability to go along with other lightning type effects. It does have synergies, of course. It has synergies with Charge Bolt and Lightning Sentry, as well as Fire Blast, but there are other abilities that have synergies with Shockweb. So, as you can clearly see here, Shockweb is also a synergy to Charge Bolt Sentry. It's also a synergy to Lightning Sentry, and it is also a synergy to Fire Blast itself. So if you do happen to put 20 points into Shockweb to get the extra damage out of your Charge Bolt and your Lightning Sentry, then you're also going to have the additional damage coming from Shockweb, so you might as well utilize it. And now that the next hit delay is gone, there's no reason not to utilize it. That's pretty much it for Shockweb. It does have some interesting PvP connotations because, of course, you can just check it out, use it as a sort of almost like a barrier that an enemy would have to run through. Like I could run across this bridge real quick, and I could throw a couple Shockwebs as I'm running away, and the enemy would have to be forced to go through them. Also, if an enemy is teleporting on top of you, you can, of course, put a bunch of Shockwebs at your own feet so that when they teleport on top of you, they end up getting hit by a large number of Shockwebs in the process, maybe even kiting around those Shockwebs that you're throwing on the ground. Now, there's no guarantee that the amount of damage that they put out is going to be enough to kill anybody, but when it comes to PvP, sometimes it's just about attrition, and having enough attrition damage can eventually kill a target, even if it might not necessarily kill them outright. As always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when we're just talking about Shockweb. This was bound to be a short one because there's really just not a whole lot to go over with this ability, it's just kind of a fun one. As always, thanks for watching, and keep watching.